Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to the Define 360 Parent Orientation, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. I'll mute everyone and just give it a minute for everybody to join in. Sorry, giving it just one more minute, inshallah, to get started. All right, I would love for our South Lake and Colleyville leadership to turn on their camera if you're able. If not, that's okay. So people are able to get to see their community leaders, mashallah. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Sister Therima, Brother Roshan, everyone, thank you for joining and having us. And we're honored this year to partner with our communities here, South Lake, Colleyville. Alhamdulillah, we were already serving Valley Ranch, and we took our brand, the Salam Kids brand, which is part of Define 360 Online last year during spring. And alhamdulillah, we had a really amazing summer camp experience. We had people join us from all over the country, even from Canada. Alhamdulillah, we're blessed to have a beautiful team that I'll introduce later and talk about the content and our themes and outlines later on, inshallah. So really appreciate and am honored to be here with everyone. Before we start, anyone from South Lake or Colleyville, Sister Tehrima, anyone, should we go ahead and get started, or did you guys want to say any few words just to show my respect and honor for the leadership, mashallah, that's been working hard in these communities?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Roshan, Director of Colleyville. I see we've got quite a few of the Colleyville parents in this meeting, and I appreciate them attending to get this information.
Thank you, Brother Roshan. Honored to be here with everyone, inshallah. Thank you. Sister Therima, you're muted.
I was saying, mashallah, you get started because your program speaks for itself, and I hope and wish everybody gets to understand what they're signing up for.
Okay, inshallah. All right, jazakallah khair. Appreciate you guys. All right, so with that, I'm going to share my slide deck. Bismillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah, rabbi shrah li sadri, wayassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. All right, give me a second to share my screen. Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen now for Salam Kids. All right. Okay, so Bismillah. So Salam Kids and Define is something that we started. It's a program that we started Define in about 2016. And this is our purpose of the brand. We'll share more about it. But we're introducing the Salam Kids Weekend School, and we'll be serving ages 3 through 14. Our first day of class will be August 30th, inshallah, which will be the last Sunday of this month. And one of the things that we focus on here at Define the Brand is that how do we build the emotions that are related to our faith? One of the things that I, as a seasoned teacher and principal, I helped start 3 schools here in Dallas, full-time schools. And I realized in my career that there was a gap between how we were teaching kids about faith and the way that they showed up with that faith through their character, how the faith was manifesting in their character. So one of the things that I envision and my team envision in the last 4 to 5 years as we've been developing our brand and our program is that how we can bring the emotions related to our deen, that there is this emotion for loving God, or this emotion and this sense of attachment to God and the Prophet ﷺ. And also, of course, making the program fun and engaging for kids. When we do on-site programming, there's a lot of hands-on activities, projects. We do project-based learning. And online, alhamdulillah, we were able to still do supplies for some of the programs and do hands-on projects with even supplies that are at home, or do a lot of interactive programming and games and things of that nature online. So with that, some of the things that we're going to cover today is who are the coaches, just talking about our coaches, our tracks, what are some of the themes and outlines that you're going to be expecting in the upcoming months, inshallah. Schedule, what the schedule would be for the tracks on Sunday for the classes that are on Sunday, by age group, pricing, sibling discounts, and then we'll open it up for Q&A, inshallah, and you can ask any question at that time. So we'd appreciate everyone, writing down any question you might have as we go along, and we'll go from there, inshallah. So with that, our team, we call our teachers coaches, is because we define, actually, we're a content leader in how we teach our kids. Basically, how do we coach our kids on character? And one of the things that we do at Define is that we, alhamdulillah, we are a national brand that do a lot of work on training and development of teachers around the country. We were the keynote and we were the main trainers this year's leadership retreat at Islamic Schools League for North America. We trained 30 plus schools, full-time schools around the country on how do we engage kids when we are trying to teach them and develop them on their character. And this is basically based on brain and behavioral science integrated with Islamic spirituality and prophetic character. So we have a masterclass. We call it the Become a Character Coach, and it's a 10 weeks program. And teachers, educators, principals from around the country take our course. And alhamdulillah, all our teachers that I'm going to be talking about today that are going to teach our main content, the Prophet's Heart, Divine Stories, they're all trained through that program. So basically, once they go through the program, we call them coaches, people that are, they're coaching the kids on how to develop on their character, on their faith. So the 2 main tracks that we have for content is Prophet's Heart is about loving and feeling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through faith and beautiful character. So it's about, the emotions attached to Allah, knowing our belief, but also how do we manifest them through character of the Prophet ﷺ. And the 2 coaches that we have for that track are Coach Sanobar and Coach Shaheen. Sanobar, are you here to say hi?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Sanobar. And Shaheen, are you here also to say salam? And we have Divine Hearts, which is the other track. The other track that we have is where we're talking about beautiful stories and du'as from the Quran, building that relationship with the Quran, but through stories and activities. We do online interactive games, and teachers last year actually did Kahoot and many other forms of engaging the kids, but also bringing this du'as and stories from the Quran. And Coach Mona and Coach Sharmina, these are our 2 coaches that are going to teach the Divine Stories track. Mona, are you here?
Yes, assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Mona, for being here. So Coach Mona and Sharmina, they're both going to be teaching that track. And then in between those tracks, we normally do a fitness class. So basically what we are trying to do here is that getting the kids on Sunday to interact with the teachers, get to interact with their peers, learn the content, do some hands-on projects, do some interactive activities, but not just sit in front of the computer the whole like 3 hours. So in between, get up and do some movements, right? And kids need that. And Coach Mona Ali, mashallah, she's a teacher. She was actually, in fact, a full-time teacher here at Radiant STEM, and she was one of my daughters, my twin girls. They're 9, and she was their preschool teacher. And mashallah, she's a fitness coach. She's actually a fitness coach of many of our team members, including my wife. And she's done an amazing job this summer as well, doing the fitness where she integrated, themes, character, gratitude, mindfulness in her program, but also giving kids, different challenges. Like, this is the water week where we're challenging everyone to have this much water every day, or, sleeping on time, or different healthy activities, life skills that kids need to develop. So not just they develop spiritually, emotionally in their deen, but also physically, inshallah. And that's a really fun class, 30 minutes, and everyone joins that class in between the 2 tracks, inshallah. So that's basically, those are the 3 main tracks that we have on Sundays, starting on August 30th and finishing on April 11th. So basically it's a 30 Sundays program. Every year we have a 30 Sundays program. It runs for about 8 months, starting in August and ending in April. Normally we start in September after Labor Day, but this year we're starting a little bit earlier, even though it's later than many other communities. But the way that we're doing it is because we want to complete the program right around Ramadan, inshallah. Quran being the theme for that month, inshallah, getting into Ramadan. So with that, I want to also introduce our team just a little bit, our administrative and leadership team here. We have different projects. We have a training and development team that does all the school trainings around the country. We have the kids brand. Now we have a family brand which does coaching and training for parents and teachers. So we have different brands, and for the Salam Kids brand, mashallah, we have Brother Salim here, and Brother Salim is actually part of the South Lake community. And Brother Salim, I just wanted to give you a minute, inshallah, introduce yourself.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Brother Wadud, is the audio coming through okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Salim Mitwani. So previously I was the principal at the Colleyville Sunday School for about 3 years. And then I went overseas for a few years, and upon my return, I was helping with the Sunday School in South Lake. So very good opportunities for growth for me over there. And then I actually became attracted to the Define 360 model of the weekend school. And for the past year, I've served as an administrator in that program. Alhamdulillah, for me, it has been a year of incredible growth, because not only did I learn on the job, being involved with that Define 360 weekend school program, but also I went through that master program for coach certification that Brother Wadud talked about. And this, is an incredible model that combines our traditional Islamic knowledge with science-based research for us to be able to deliver a unique program that is both practical and spiritual. And I'll give you just a very simple example of that. Our practice of doing wudu. And what is the difference between our traditional teaching that we typically teach the kids for wudu as compared to what is taught in the mindful program? So in the traditional teaching, we would teach the kids, how many times to wash their face and wash their hands and so on. But when you talk about mindful wudu, now you're actually teaching the kids the meaning of what this all entails, how to practice this in a very, very practical and spiritual way. And so the kids learn about conserving our resources, about, doing it in a way that conserves the water that they're using, not to leave the tap running the whole time that they're doing the wudu, the cleanliness around them, in the area that they are doing the wudu. Because one of the things that really used to bother me is whenever I went into an area that we would do wudu, it would not be very pleasant to do the wudu in that area. So this program takes care of more than just the traditional, the aspects of rote learning that we experience. So these sort of concepts are actually applied in each and every aspect of our lives as Muslims, how we are supposed to live as Muslims, and the mindfulness part of it. So that was extremely, enlightening for me, and an area of personal growth for me. So I'm really glad that, I got the opportunity to be involved with this program. And my goal is always to serve our community. So I have found that in this way, entailing or inspiring our kids to be aware of these concepts and to live their lives as, Muslims in a practical way, but at the same time taking into consideration all these other aspects, is really the best way that I can provide a service to the community. So with that, I'd like to also say a few words about Brother Wadud. He's very, very humble, and he really did not say a lot about himself and how, he has developed these programs. So Brother Wadud is the founder of the Mindfulness Matters Leadership Institute. And this is a mindful, emotional, intelligence-based leadership and character development program. It provides organizations and people with tools for personal, professional, and organizational transformation. Brother Wadud and his wife Leah have also co-founded Define 360, which is the program on which this weekend school program is based. And it's, again, a faith-based and experiential mindfulness and emotional intelligence program. And what it helps is, it helps the kids bridge the gap between faith and character, that outward knowledge and the inward experience of that knowledge. So Brother Wadud lives in Dallas with his wife Leah and their two girls. He actually has twins, Alishba and Jana. Brother Wadud completed his graduate studies in leadership and organizational performance at Vanderbilt University. And he has done leadership training at Harvard and also at the Neuroscience Academy. He's a certified mindfulness teacher through the Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute. And so, we are extremely, extremely privileged and fortunate to have Brother Wadud in our community leading this effort. Thank you, Brother Wadud. Over to you.
Jazakallah. Appreciate that. Jazakallah khair. So our team, mashallah, Ali is here as well. Ali is our, he is doing our community partnership nationally with different communities, and Ali has been partnering with the community leaders and communicating with them. We have Sister Sumera, who's our marketing lead, and an entire team that we will start to get to know. But most importantly right now, I think it's important for you to know the coaches. That's why I introduced the teachers. With that, I'm going to make sure that you're continuing to see our screen here. And let me just go back here real fast. This is how Define started, and I just wanted to show you an intro video of how Define started. So I'll have to share my screen. Just give me a second.
Children striving to be the best by competing with peers in academics. Children striving to be the best by competing with peers in academics, sports, and all aspects of daily life, trying to achieve success with little to no mistakes, often become miserable adults. Why? Teaching the importance of results rather than rewarding the process may be building a foundation of failure for your child. True happiness is developed by teaching children emotional intelligence and social abilities, which leads them on a path to confident decisions, a good work ethic, a desire to learn, and an ability to take criticism in stride. A Stanford study discovered that preschool students with higher emotional control proved to be more popular, adventurous, confident, and dependable teenagers 14 years later. The children with less emotional control were more likely to be lonely, easily frustrated, and stubborn. The Stanford experiment proved a child's emotional intelligence at age 4 to be a better predictor of higher performance on SATs than did IQ. Studies have shown that project-based learning schools significantly outperform traditional schools because they focus on problem solving and interpersonal skills while acknowledging different learning styles. Define After School employs project-based learning to develop emotional intelligence, social and ethical skills integrated with Quranic character development for the American Muslim child. Define offers high-impact leadership and character development, clear, age-appropriate learning milestones, project and problem-based learning for a high level of student engagement, Quran, Arabic, extracurriculars, and supplemental academic support. Request Define to launch in your community today, and ask fellow parents to do the same by completing the short survey. Creative, fun, and passionate teachers, volunteers, and potential investors can reach us at www.defineafterschool.org. I was sent to perfect the human character.
So that was our initial idea of building that connection, that emotional intelligence connection from the Prophet Salam. And we started launching an after-school weekend school model later. We started using that content for our weekend school. And our focus has always been that we will teach faith, we'll teach about Iman and all the other pillars of faith, but integrated and focused on that character development piece that is our unique value proposition. So mindfulness, emotional intelligence, the prophetic mindfulness, emotional intelligence, the spirituality or Islam, not just in a ritualistic way, like Brother Salim was saying, but in a way that is spiritual, that is felt, experienced by the kids. That is what we've been always trying to achieve and trying to aim in our content design, inshallah. With that, let me go back to the deck. So these are our themes for this year, inshallah, September through April. And each month there is a theme about our faith. And the way that this year is a mindfulness year, and what we are doing is we're trying to focus on how do we be mindful, conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, taqwa, which is, mindfulness of Allah, consciousness, awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we know about Allah's attribute, who Allah is, connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. October, where we're doing a theme for mindful salah. How do we be more mindful in our salah? November, going into the articles of faith, mindfulness of the unseen, mindfulness in the day of judgment, the angels, and the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created around us. And then December, which is mindfulness of our purpose, our role on this world, being an ambassador, a Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth, being an ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how to be of service to people and humanity. January, where we're going more into the mindfulness of the self, where we're trying to learn about emotions and self-regulation from an Islamic perspective, as well as some science-based integrated activities as well. Mindfulness of the heart, the different, we talk about, anger, arrogance, riya, or showing off, or other things that are the spiritual diseases of the heart, talking about the mindfulness of the heart. How to be mindful and follow our role models. And we'll do a month of March where we'll be talking about the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. And then April, which is when we're wrapping up with the mindful Quran relationship with Quran, how to read Quran mindfully, how to connect with the Quran as a book of Allah as we get into the month of Ramadan. So don't worry about remembering all of this. Inshallah, when you register, you'll get an email with the PDF copy of all the outlines and the themes and everything. So no worries about that, inshallah. Just showing real fast. I just wanted to, I don't have time to go into all the details for all the 8 months, but here I'll just show you a quick snapshot of the first 4 months. September, we're talking mindfulness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're kind of starting off about who is Allah, but these are not, don't think of this as a very preliminary type of activity. We normally have, we normally do an engaging hands-on project around them or do interactive projects around it. So they're not just about, basics of an elementary level, basic education about, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, our creator. But it's more than that. Normally you go beyond textbooks to talk more about our relationship with Allah. What emotions do we feel about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What are some key emotions that we feel when we think about Allah? And how do we know Allah through his attributes? So this is how we normally try to do our projects. These are all project-based learning models where kids are going to either create a project or do something online. because of the online model, they're starting to do a lot of interactive activities online. In, you know, just kind of talking about 5 pillars of Islam, but not just that, you know, 5 pillars, because they all know the 5 pillars, but more about how do we kind of interact with those 5 pillars? How can we kind of understand deeper about the meanings of the 5 pillars? Our purpose of creation, why Allah SWT created us, what is our purpose on this earth? And understanding it from the kids' in unique purpose, understanding, you know, as for some of the younger kids, maybe the discussion is, you know, kind of maturing slowly, but for some of the older kids, even asking that, what is my purpose? How do I live my purpose on this earth? Even though we know that generally there are purposes that Allah SWT created, and talked about the purpose in the Quran, for example, مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ, they have not been created except for my worship, or كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, that you were sent as the best of the nation, the Ummah of Muhammad ﷺ, to invite people to good and to serve people, to stop them from evil. But however, how do you live that purpose yourself? You know, starting to ask kids these questions about developing their unique purpose of how do they live that purpose? What are some things they can do to live that purpose? Also living, how do we love our Prophet ﷺ, who our Prophet ﷺ is, and how does he relate to us? Going beyond just content to experience. So again, I'll always talk about this, that we focus more on the experience and the emotions than the content itself. On Divine Stories, we're starting to talk about Quranic stories that goes about that mindfulness of Allah and how Allah started creating the earth, starting with Adam alayhi salam, but not just the story, but also kind of lessons, and how can we bring those lessons in projects, or you know, kind of think about interactive ways to talk about the stories ourselves, how do that apply to our life, and so on. So just a snapshot here about the theme for September, snapshot here for theme of October, Mindful Salah. And we actually do a lot of training on mindfulness, like how do we actually train our mind to focus, right? That's one of the neuroscience-based training that, you know, I'm a certified teacher in that, and most of my coaches are trained in that. And they basically train kids about how do we gather our mind, how do we relax and gather our body and really be fully present in our prayer. Imam Ghazali's model of a mindful prayer, or the first thing is about presence of heart. How do we make sure that our heart is present in our prayer? So it's really important that we try to focus on building this mindful wudu and mindful salah, because we know from the Prophet after Iman, the first deed, right, that will be reckoned for on the Day of Judgment is salah. However, salah is not just ritualistic about do's and don'ts, but it's more about how do we feel in our heart? What do we experience? How do we taste our prayer? And that's what we're going to be talking about, inshallah. And I think related to that, you see that there's a story of Isra al-Miraj, the story from the Quran, the Prophet getting revelation of the salah, and so on, inshallah. So without going into...
There's a question from a parent in a chat group about are these weekly lessons for every age group? Example, a 3 and a 4-year-old may not know who is Allah or the 5 pillar, but an 11-year-old will know. So how are these topics adjusted for age group?
So our themes and outlines, every year we do fresh lessons. So we have a content team. We have you know, a coaching content team that are an international team. We have a team in Egypt. We have a 3-member team in Egypt. We have content leaders in Chicago. We have 2 content leaders here in Dallas. So we basically have a team of content leaders that have been designing our own projects. We've designed, up to now, we've designed about 50 projects ourselves. These are project-based learning. Each project runs for about 8 weeks. So we've done about 500 pages plus our own content. And the reason we did that was we didn't want to teach kids in a traditional textbook manner. Like, you know, you come and just kind of read through textbook and leave. We wanted to do more about how do we get deeper in the content and do something hands-on or do something interactive online. So every year we come up with new themes and new outlines. So right now we have a 2-member content team that is designing new projects for all of these themes. And what they do is that they do it for the younger age groups, and they do at the same time they do it for the older age groups. The outline and the themes are going to be the same, but in terms of what the content is and what the project is going to be different for the different age groups. So I hope that answers the question, inshallah. But you will see, as you start seeing the kids kind of seeing the interaction of the kids in the classrooms, you will start seeing how they interact with different age groups and differently. And also our coaches for the different age groups are different, so they know how to engage the different age groups as well, inshallah. Thank you so much for that question. So again, November, we're talking about mindfulness of the unseen. We're talking about, Allah's system of unseen. And, you know, like angels, day of judgment, Jannah and Jahannam. A lot of these questions, you know, this year we started addressing early on, because every year we see that the kids end up asking, they're very fascinated about these stuff, right? What happens in Jannah or Jahannam and things like that. And we were talking a lot about character and faith, but they wanted to learn more about all these stories. They wanted to learn more about everything that happens in the hereafter. So we felt that we needed to really go a little bit deeper in those lessons. And so we wanted to kind of show you the outline and themes. Again, the projects and the activities are different for this same theme and same outlines for different age groups. December, we're talking about mindfulness or purpose. What does it mean when Allah says, "Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa"? I want to send you as my ambassador, as my, you know, as my representative on earth. What does that mean? How do we be Allah's ambassador or representative on this earth? How do we be of service? How do you be of benefit to everyone? So really important to kind of remember that and kind of show the kids their role, how important they are, their purpose on this life. How do they build their own purpose? How do they build the community? How do they build teams? How do they work in teams? How do they give to other people? And importance of service and importance of helping people. And that's why we end with sadaqah and zakah and how that helps communities. How do they build communities? So this is just a quick snapshot and outline of the first 4 months, inshallah. You will see all 8 months, inshallah. When you register, you will get a PDF copy of all the outlines and what's happening every month. But more than that, what's going to happen is that teachers are going to add you to a WhatsApp group. And every week, as the kids are finishing projects, interactive lessons, they're going to be able to take a snapshot of what's happening in the class. And they're able to show you, they're basically, teachers are always updating you every week. You know, just like, here are some projects from today, here are some lessons we've done. And you'll see weekly updates, inshallah, in the WhatsApp group. You'll be able to communicate in the WhatsApp group, ask any questions that you might have, inshallah. And hopefully from our experience in the last 4 years, alhamdulillah, kids are very engaged with our coaches, and we have coaches that have been seasoned, that have been trained. So inshallah, we're expecting an amazing experience this year. All right, so we're gonna go into schedule and pricing. You got a little snapshot of the lessons, the themes. You'll get a full copy of that, inshallah, when you register. And now, in terms of the scheduling, how does that work? How does scheduling work? We have 3 different age groups that we're serving in terms of the South Lake and the Colleyville community. And on basically the preschool is going to start at 9 to 9:40. And preschool is 3 through 5. Ages 3 through 5 is preschool. And Sister Sanubar here is one of the lead teachers at preschool for Rare Learning, which is a preschool program that has partnered with cities across Dallas. Different parks and recs, different cities that have partnered with Rare Learning for a preschool program. Rare Learning and Define, we have partnered to bring their preschool program for our kids. And basically we integrate our faith and character piece in their preschool academic piece. And then we do a preschool program during the weekdays. We'll be running a preschool during the weekdays, but we'll also be offering a faith-based preschool class on Sundays only. So it's really important that you kind of get that for Brother Shabir asked a question. Yes, inshallah. All the parents that have registered, inshallah, by next weekend, you will all get, if you didn't get the PDF and the outlines, which we've been working on and developing, by next weekend, everybody will get the entire PDF copies, outlines, any supplies you need, everything will be emailed, inshallah. The links to join the class, you'll get it by next weekend, inshallah. That's what our team's working on. So this is the schedule here. On the left, we have the first 2 columns are for the South Lake community, and the next 2 columns is for the Colleyville community. And the reason that we have kind of created separate classes for you, because we were expecting, after talking to your leaders, that for each age group, you're probably gonna have about some 10 to 15 kids. So we normally don't go beyond 15 in our classrooms. The way that we do online is we do 1 to 15, even though we've seen that with a TA, we can go a little bit more, but generally we try to stay between 15 to 20 and no more. So we created separate tracks for you guys. And so 10 o'clock, everyone's gonna start their Sunday school. Preschool is gonna start at 9, but otherwise, if it's not preschool kids, all the regular, like starting 6 and up, 1st grade and up, they're going to go ahead and start at 10 o'clock. And 10 o'clock is where all the age groups have different coaches that are teaching them. So for example, the South Lake community, Sister Sanobar is teaching Prophet's Heart to ages 6 and 7, and Sister Shaheen, who is our advanced older age group coach, she's teaching ages 8 through 10. And then same thing happening at the same time. We have just this on, basically we're flipping the tracks. Divine Stories is starting in Colleyville. And then right after this first track, you know, each track is about 40 minutes. We give kids about 15, 20 minutes break, and then they come back to the next class. And we've seen that work really well, because if you continue without breaks, it's difficult for kids. So they get up, they just move around a little bit, they grab a snack, they use the restroom, they come back, and 15 minutes passes like this for kids. And then they get onto the next program. So in between the two tracks, basically we are offering that fitness track, right? Where everybody joins in the fitness track, and with Sister Mona, and this is also they're also learning about sometimes character themes, sometimes team building, sometimes, you know, physical fitness life skills. Really important for them to kind of do that track, and then right after that track, they are transitioning to the next track. So the South Lake community is transitioning to the Divine Stories, and then the Colleyville community is transitioning to the Prophet's Heart community. Basically, they're switching. That's how the South Lake and Colleyville communities are set up here. In terms of our online Salam Kids, Define 360, and the Valley Ranch community, they're going to be a little bit different timing, inshallah, and I will answer those questions in a minute. If you just give me a second to just go over that, and I'll open it up for Q&A. So the Define Valley Ranch community, we are going to start, instead of 10, we're going to start at 11. And while the other communities are doing fitness, we have a track here where our kids are going through Prophet Stories. The Valley Ranch community is going through Prophet Stories. And here we also have ages 11 through 14. We also serve ages 11 through 14 here. Whereas South Lake and Colleyville, we don't serve 11 through 14, because 11 to 14, your kids are going to the Roots program. So for us, we have another additional track for the ages 11 through 14. Our kids also, right after their first track, they do the fitness, and then they do Divine Stories as well. For anyone that's not part of South Lake and Colleyville, this is the schedule, but you'll get the schedule as well, inshallah. By next weekend, we'll send all of this PDF schedule, PDF copy of this deck as well. We'll send it to you, inshallah. All right, so with that, I just wanted to kind of quickly share about the weekend school model. So the way that the tuition is set up, that you get those 3 tracks every week. The tuition is $75 per month. In the summer, we did $30 per month for a four times a month session. So normally we charge about $6.50 per track. So normally it's about $20 per weekend. And the way it works is that the 30 weekends that kids attend, it's times 20, $600 per year. And what happens is that that is divided into 8 months. So you can, basically that's how I'm showing the monthly fee. Even though we encourage and we ask every parent that you do at least half the commitment. So which is, when you go to the registration form, you will see that it explains the tuition there as well. And we ask everybody to pay for 1 semester when you sign up. So you register online with the registration fee, which is a one-time $35 fee per child. But then we give you a link to make the payment for tuition, inshallah. And then once you make the tuition, you're added to the WhatsApp group, and you can start, you can get all the communication going, inshallah, that way. But we ask everybody that just for the first 4 months, if you can pay the first 4 months when you come in, to show your commitment to the program. And that way the seats are, we know the seats are taken, and they're taken for 4 months, and we can plan things accordingly. And don't, at a certain point, cut off the enrollment. So it's really important that, you do that. And then also in terms of the tuition discount, the 2 children, what we do is you do a total 75 times 2, which is 150. And we do a 10% discount on that total. And so that's 135 per month. And then for the 3 children, you do 3 courses, which is basically 191 with a 15% discount. We discussed this morning, even though the chart says the 4th row, 4 children, but our internal team discussed this morning that inshallah for 4 children and up, we will do it for free. If you already bring like 3 kids, I think fourth kids and up, you should do it for free. So ignore that fourth row and we'll update that, inshallah. I think we forgot to update that. We're just gonna cut it off at 191. Even if you have 4 or 5 kids, that's okay. We just don't want to charge anymore after the third kid, inshallah. So that's basically it in terms of how it works, in terms of some of the outlines, our team, the programming schedule. And there's so much more you'll get to learn as we start communicating more from next weekend. Inshallah, our teachers are working on figuring all our activities outline, setting all the classroom links. One of the things that we will do in terms of the links is that we will give you a link that will be recurring every week. So you don't have to change the link, same link you'll join every week, inshallah, in terms of the classes. You will see more information being updated also on our website, which is define360.online. Initially, the promo video that I showed, that was a few years ago when we introduced our program. So our website has changed to define360.online. And if you go to /Salam Kids, that's where we'll post all the information, inshallah. You'll also be able to contact us there, and there is a contact form there. Also in the chat, I'll put our email for our admin team. If you ever have any question, just send an email, and then we have an admin team, Sister Sumaya, Brother Salim, and then our coaches, they can be also forwarded the email. But most importantly, once you register, you'll be added to the WhatsApp group, and that usually takes care of the problem in terms of you communicating directly with the teachers. So that takes care of it, but I'm gonna type the email where you can send any questions you have until next weekend. If you don't hear back by next Sunday, you can always reach us here, but inshallah, we've talked about it in our team that all the communication and directions are gonna go by next Sunday, inshallah, to all of your inboxes if you register. That's pretty much what I want to talk about, but I'm sure there's more, and I'll just go ahead and open it up for Q&A. From this. Brother Salim, did I forget something?
No, you were fine. Just that there was a question from one of the parents, and I wanted us to address that because it's a very, very important question. But before we do that, also, you put the email address on the chat group, on the chat, but that will go away when people log out. So I'd urge the parents to take a screenshot of the chat, and then they'll have that in their records. So Brother Wadud, the question that was asked was, how do we make sure that we engage the preschool kids? And that's a very, very good question, because obviously, the preschool kids, their attention span is very limited. Now, when we were doing this in person, the teachers, the coaches, obviously they, geared the projects around that age group. And that's actually true for all age levels, because all the activities and projects and learning is geared according to the age group, so that we are reaching to the appropriate level. But especially for preschoolers, we pay a lot of attention to that, because obviously we know the challenges. And then when we went to the online sessions, because of the COVID situation, so the last basically 6 weeks of the last school year, we shifted over to the online sessions. And during that time, it was a very good learning process for us, because we, sought all different kinds of ways of ensuring that we would engage the kids, the younger kids, in an appropriate way. And Alhamdulillah, we were very successful based on the feedback that we got from the parents. So, we shortened the contact time accordingly. We didn't have the same amount of contact time that we used to have when we had in person. And then we also geared the materials, the activities that could be done online. And we didn't limit our platform only to Zoom. We used an additional platform that really helps, especially reaching out to younger kids, because it allows us to do all kinds of activities with the kids online. It has a two-way interaction with the kids, where the kids actually draw on the screen and the teacher can see that. And they can, like teachers used to have games, and then the kids would, participate in the games, mix and match and memory and all that. But it's all oriented around the Islamic model. So Alhamdulillah, we felt like we were able to put together a plan that really worked. And inshallah, that's what we will be implementing this year also.
Brother Salim, Jazakallah khair for sharing that experience. Brother Salim, mashallah, does an amazing job in supporting our teachers on the weekend school. So he's sharing his experience from the last year's weekend school. And since then, Brother Salim, in the summer, we've also partnered with Sabah. So just wanted to mention and add that to what your answer, mashallah. The Sister Sabah and the Rare Learning team, who has been doing preschool for different communities around Dallas. We partner with them to take the preschool engagement to the next level. So I'll open up for Sabah to just say a few words. Sabah, please. Sabah, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to present the program to the community. Our program has been going for a number of years, 17 years to be exact, in the DFW area. And with the pandemic happening, we transformed our platform from in-person classes to virtual classes, I would say with the excellent team that I had overnight. So we started the virtual classes last week of March. And the way that our virtual classes, and I will have Sister Snober chime in after I finish, they're very, very interactive. So we have, we use Google Slides, we have lots of good visuals, we have a lot of activities and themes that we, and breakout sessions within the within the Zoom classroom. So we can cater the learning towards different groups of students within our class. In addition to the Zoom class, we have lots of additional things that we do. We use the Google Classroom platform to send them their individualized packets of work that parents can work with them on. We give them weekend challenges. We have projects that we create every session based on the theme. So we keep it very interactive, and a lot of good work is being given to the parents as support to the actual classroom. So we do maintain their interest. We have excellent feedback from the parents. Just by parents continuing with the program, that gives us that validation that their children are learning. Some children, based on their levels, some children do require a little bit more assistance to get used to the class format. It's a new format with the parents, but once they get that assistance in the beginning, they get used to the format, they get used to the teachers. So it is an interactive class where they're actually doing work while the teacher is teaching. And that's our goal. We want the children to be participating in the class and not just sitting on the other side and listening. So that has worked really well for us. And what I would have is our teacher, Sister Sanober, who has been doing our program in one of the recreation centers, and also then switched to virtual programming, and also did the Define Rare partnership classes. So Sanober, if you can chime in and give your experience as a teacher in terms of maintaining the students' interest, that would be very beneficial to the community to hear from the teacher directly as well.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Sabah and Brother Wadud and Brother Salim, for your amazing inputs. I did my preschool, which as Sister Sabah has mentioned, and then we did the Defined Partnership this whole summer. So I was a bit nervous too, like how will the kids do? And I was amazed that the preschool kids were more attentive than other grades, mashallah. And we had some hands-on project that Brother Wadud was mentioning. For example, we had the emotional intelligence for compassion. So like compassion is kindness, just telling that was not the real purpose for me. So we were teaching 5 pillars with the word compassion. So for example, we were doing Salah, and we had a picture of, kids and families praying and standing together. So we were just, let's like hands-on activity with questions. We asked them, what do you see in the picture? And all the kids, yeah, everybody's standing together. Then we said, okay, so what does this picture tells you? So all the kids, surprisingly, they said, everybody's standing all together. And then we use the word compassion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has salah, because salah teaches us to be kind towards everyone. We don't differentiate between everyone. We should be kind and nice and be together, stand together. And then we had a project of crown, and kids, we sent them supplies beforehand for sure. And then they made a crown and they sent me pictures. And then we had hands-on activity for Red too with them, and some academic. And trust me, we were just talking, having fun, less music, because once a while, a fun song or fun recording is fine, but we prefer that the more you talk to them without sharing screen, and the more they like you, they love listening to you more as a teacher because they are young. That really helps. And we just use Google Slides. So when I had some slides on it, I showed them, okay, this is our topic. So I am going to stop sharing the screen. And I went with the Zoom whiteboard, and they were giving me answers. It was like a Q&A with them. Okay, what do you think? So I believe that even if they are preschoolers, they should lead the classroom, not me. So I was taking my time and asking them. They took time for thinking, and they answered when they felt comfortable and they understood what I was saying there. So that's what we feel to do in preschool, that it's a student-led class. It doesn't teacher just talking. The students answers my question. They tell me what they want. Okay, I get that. So that was a whole thing. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah Christina, there was a question about whether parents need to be sitting with the preschoolers or not. Either Saba or Sanobar, one of you can answer.
I can give our perspective of the program, and Sanobar can give the actual reasoning for it. We do believe that the parents, and we in our policies, we do mention that, and the parents have to sign our policies when they start, that it is a class that the parents may need to be there for the kids initially. And it depends on the child. Some children are more independent, and with the first introduction, they may be able to continue on their own. But some children may need assistance, and that's something then of course, we would appreciate the parents being available to do that, because however much we would like to be of help, on the other side of screen, there's only so much that we can do. So yes, there will be some students who may have a shorter attention span than some of the other preschool students, and they will need the parents' assistance. So, and that's, we leave at the parents' discretion. If they feel that the child is attentive enough to be able to do the class on their own, that's absolutely their decision. But some children will need assistance. Sometimes what we have seen is when children start, they may require some assistance to get used to the program, but when they know what to expect, then the parents can be a little bit more hands-off, and maybe they can be in the area to be of support as and when needed, but they might not be required to sit with them the entire class time based on how the child is doing.
Right. So Sabah, thank you so much. And I just wanted to mention that this is for the preschool class only, because the ages, we're talking about ages 3 and 4, right? And so, of course, parents have to give some support. And then once they get used to it, inshallah, I think most of our experience has been that parents didn't really have to be there after a few sessions. They just kind of have to keep an eye. But as a policy, yes, that'll be something that parents need to keep an eye, because preschoolers are very young. Older kids, mashallah, first grade and up, we see that once they know the Zoom and how to join, they've been pretty independent in terms of engaging with the kids. Jazakallah khair, Sabah, thank you so much for that. So I'm going to go into other questions now. Will you share the detailed syllabus? Yes, the entire team's outlines, all of that will be shared with you, inshallah. In terms of the fees, there's a question about fees. Yeah, so in terms of our fees, our fees used to be $120 for our Sunday school. We actually reduced our fee. The reason that we were charging more than most communities was because all our coaches they went through a certification process. They're all paid coaches. We don't pay anybody even, we don't even pay minimum wage. We pay really good, so we try to pay our teachers and coaches for their time. And we also have a content team that we take care of all the content team, the content design. So everything we do are paid work. These are not volunteer work. And we try to bring the best that we find to create the content, deliver the content. That's one of the reasons that, alhamdulillah, the program has gotten a really good feedback from parents and engagement that we're trying to do beyond what we've seen other Sunday schools do. And our intention was to redefine the weekend school experience. So it's a different type of model where, content's designed in-house, expertise is brought in, all the teachers go through trainings and coaching. So it's a different type of model. It's not a volunteer-based model. So it costs us even more than what we're charging right now. We've been barely breaking even. So on the other hand, what we want to tell you is that if you ever have any challenge in terms of income or things like that, we've never said no to any parents that have reached out in terms of any type of difficulty with fees, and we've never returned parents based on that. But I feel that for us to charge, on average about $6.05 for each session, or about $20 per weekend for the 30 weekends, and breaking it down makes it about $75 a month. It is very accessible for the type of quality that we're trying to deliver, inshallah, and we're continuing to try to improve that quality too, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. So I'll move, Brother Zuhaib, if you have more questions, please email us directly, inshallah, to us, and we'll talk about that later. I want to answer other questions here as well. The syllabus, yes, a really important question there, and we talked about that as well. How is it going to be interactive in terms of writing and projects? Some of the older kids are going to be encouraged to at least have a journal where they write down what they're learning and how they're basically, what some of the content that they're doing. But most of the time, what you'll see that because it's project-based, and either you'll see the capture of the interactive games we do online or the projects that the kids do, you'll see pictures of that and how it's kind of captured in the student work itself. So that communication will be ongoing in the WhatsApp, and inshallah, both parents and kids will be engaged. Yes, would the kids be learning about Salah? Yes, of course, they're going to be learning about Salah, but not just the rituals of Salah, also how to pray in a mindful way, having Salah chart and things of that nature. Yes, our teachers have done that, and will continue to do that at a level where they can experience the things that we're trying to teach them, inshallah. I have a 7.5-year-old who was in level 2, second grade last year, would go to level 3 this year. How do I register him, Sister Alia? Yes, so you basically register him as whatever he's going to be in the upcoming fall. So it's based on where they are in fall, inshallah, fall of 2020, upcoming semester, inshallah. Hope that answers the question. Let me just make sure. Sayyidina Muhammad. Sayyidina Muhammad. Sister Ali, I really appreciate that, helping those who might need help. Yes, inshallah, that's a really good suggestion. Brother Salim, please note that, and let's tag Sumera so she can update the registration and have a donation button if it's possible for parents to donate towards any scholarship funds, inshallah. Every year we have a few parents that, we either reduce or waive their fee based on financial needs. Okay.
Can I make a quick comment, Brother Wadud?
Yes, Brother Roshan. Yes, please,
Mr.
of course.
Roshan, yes. I have sent the email out to our parents because typically throughout our regular Sunday schools, some of the parents are definitely unable to meet the fees. So we have also sent to our Colleyville parents, we have asked those who want to join the Sunday school and cannot make the fees to contact us on what level of subsidy they will require. And we may be able to assist in some form of the other, which of course, will be because of generous donation from our community members. We will be able to offer some form of subsidies to some parents from our community.
Brother Roshan, that helps us. Like I said, we're trying to do all this very high level of professional work, but we're not able to fully take care of all our expenses. We've pretty much run our program, break even, but we don't want to compromise on the quality. That's why we pay the coaches, we train the coaches. So, but we've always had this policy that if anybody tells us they have financial need, we don't want to return those parents. So that has been a part of our policy, but if Masjid or anybody else is able to subsidize, that really helps our program. I appreciate that.
Yes, and I'm waiting for my parents from Colleyville, their kids' parents from Colleyville, to reply me if any one of them is going to need any assistance. And if they do apply to you and they're from the Colleyville community, you can just pass them over to me as well. So
thank you, Brother Roshan. I really appreciate that. It's very kind. Sister Tahrima, yes, we will. We can upload this to YouTube and have a private link to this session, and I will send it to Send it to you guys through Ali, inshallah, to your group, so you can send it with all your parents, inshallah, the recording.
Sounds good. And I would like to extend the same as Brother Roshan. If there is any parent or child who's unable to, just because of the financial situations, they're more than welcome to get in touch with us.
Okay.
Of course, they need to qualify, but we'll go through that process with them, and we don't want them to be turned away just because of this.
Sure, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Sister Afshin, in terms of the outline, okay, that's a good suggestion, inshallah. We've shared the outline today, and we're trying to create a PDF copy of that by the end of this week. We'll share that with the leadership when it's ready this week, inshallah. They can share with parents as well. So thank you for that suggestion, Sister Afshin. All right, anybody else have a question? And it's okay if you want to unmute yourself to ask a question. You're completely welcome to do that. You don't have to write in the chat window. It's 1 o'clock. We wanted it to be an hour. We can go over maybe 5 or 10 minutes if we really have any other question. Otherwise, inshallah, we look forward to welcoming you, inshallah. My own girls, I have twin girls, they're 9. And they were in the summer camp. They were in this program for the last 4 years. And my daughter, one of them, is very active. She wants to get up and move and all of that. MashaAllah, I'll tell you that she was super engaged with Define, even more than her school. And I felt like I was telling my Define team that how proud I was of my teachers, because they did a better job than their full-time school in being interactive and engaging the kids. And I was actually I was being nominated to be on the board of our school, where my charter school where my daughters go. And I was talking to the superintendent and giving some suggestion based on what we do here on the weekend school. So I'm really proud of my team that they really engage our kids. And my daughter, one of my daughters that's super active, she was like, Baba, like, why did you sign me up for all the 5 tracks in summer? I'm like, I just did, but it's up to you. There's no pressure, right? And every week she's like, I don't want to go. But then she ends up going to every class because she was engaged, mashallah. So I just want to say that we're really excited. And I'm really grateful that I have a team where my own girls can benefit from it. And our community will also be able to benefit. Sister Tharima, your hand is raised. Do you have a question, Sister Tharima, or was that from before?
No, that's from before. I'm going to undo that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, just there were some questions about the content, and we addressed the content very thoroughly for the younger kids, and that was very nice. But I also wanted to say a couple of words about the content for the older kids, because there seems to be some concern based on the questions that have come through, and just wanted to reassure the parents that we really emphasize on the quality of the content. And this is by no means that, unidirectional, sitting in front of a screen and just listening and, maybe taking notes. This is a very, very interactive model where, even the older kids get to participate in a two-way interaction with the coaches. And there's a lot of activity-based and project-based interaction and learning. And one thing that I found very unique about this program is that we have very frequent meetings with the coaches prior to the Sunday school time of the actual instruction. So that's very unusual that, almost every week we meet with the coaches and go over the content that they are going to be presenting that following Sunday, and then discuss the mode of presentation and the actual content itself and what kind of challenges they might experience. And there's a lot of sharing and collaboration among the coaching team. So that's what makes us very, very strong.
Thank you.
That's what I had to share.
Brother Shabir, did you have a question, Brother Shabir?
Yeah, yes, Assalamu alaikum. So I just want to confirm, it's going to be a 3-hour class starting at 10 a.m. every Sunday, right?
That is correct. That is correct. Yes, inshallah.
Okay. So, and how I understood it is between these 3 schools, there'll be teachers who will be rotating different sessions, different classes, and
that is
every class they'll get a 20 minutes break.
Correct.
So in a 3-hour class, after how many minutes would a kid get a break for 20 minutes?
So usually every class is going to be about 40, 45 minutes, and then they'll get a 15 to 20 minutes break, and then they'll go to the next class, inshallah.
Okay. And does he need, what is the ideal place? Does he need to have a lot of space around him when he's attending the class? I
No,
heard you saying
just a corner where they're able to put like at least their journal maybe on a table and take notes if needed. But otherwise, just a computer and dedicated computer, especially if you have siblings with multiple kids. If it's probably advisable to put them in different rooms if you have the opportunity. If not, then that's okay. You know, everybody put their headphones on and be active in different corners of the room. But if they're in different rooms on their own technology device, that's better. We don't want to share the same technology device in, let's say, two siblings are in the same class or something like that. Sometimes happens. But yeah, just separate laptops, journal, pen. And then teachers will let them know a week in advance if they need to bring any, extra paper, glue, or color pencils, any other project for anything hands-on projects. They'll be notified, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much. One last question before I end. So I registered last week. I paid registration and 1 month fee, I guess $75. So
Okay.
I haven't got any confirmation email about what I paid and other details in that confirmation email. So did you say that if we pay upfront or something? You discussed very briefly about payments or something. I missed that part. Unless you're going to send those details.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Brother Shabir. So because our team was finalizing all the outline and content, the auto email was not set up. So the auto email will be set up this week, inshallah. But whoever did not get it, by next Sunday, we're sending everybody a general email and explaining, like, here's the outline, here's the details, here's the recording of the orientation. And also we're asking all the parents to make a commitment for 1 semester, which is the first 4 months, which is $300, to make sure that they're committed to the program. And that way we can close the enrollment once we reach a certain amount of number in each class.
Thank you so much. That explains, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jazakallah khair, everyone. Can you please share the schedule, the timing for the classes? Yeah, it's 10 to 1, but don't worry about the schedule, because as soon as you register, by next Sunday, all the communication will go out and you'll be added to, once you make the payments after next Sunday, once you get the email, the contacts, next week, you will be added to the teacher WhatsApp group. So once you are added to the teacher WhatsApp group, every teacher is gonna start sending you the link, right? And it's going to be the same link you join every week, inshallah. And the way that we're trying to set it up is that your 10 to 1 for your community, Colleyville community, is just one link, for a certain age group. So ages 6 through 7, there's one link, and 8 to 10. So we're trying to create the same link. So you will know all about that, inshallah, by next weekend, inshallah. You should be able to get all of those instructions. So just wait till next week. And also we'll send not only just to the emails of everyone that registered so far, but also once all that information is ready by next weekend, we will also make it an automated email to anyone that signs up. Plus, we'll send it through all your leadership, your community leadership. They will send it out to you as well, inshallah. Thank you, Sister Rija. And Sister Ali, I really appreciated that positivity about sharing the good that's coming out of the pandemic. May Allah protect our families, our kids, and keep us safe, and give us tawfiq to come out of this stronger in our iman and in our ability to be grateful to Allah and living our purpose, inshallah. Brother Shabir, you had another question?
No. I mean, I didn't have any question. Because I didn't get any emails. I paid 1 month so far, so I was just wondering.
Yeah,
if
you'll get all the details, inshallah, next Sunday. But Sister Tharima, was that a raised hand again, or was that from before?
No, this is a new one. So
okay, go ahead.
Actually, a couple of parents texted me separately asking me if they're able to choose number of tracks. I think no. Okay, so all 3 they have to take from 10 to 1.
Yeah. We created it in a way that we feel is the optimal for the kids. We thought about choices on Sundays, and we thought that it gets kind of confusing just for a Sunday. In the summer, there's a lot of room because it's the whole week, so we give a lot of choices. But in the Sunday, we felt like, no, these are some core tracks they need to take, and they also need that break, so it's important for them to be there for the whole time. So
awesome. I'm glad that got answered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, everyone, I'll wrap it up. It's 10 minutes over 1 o'clock, so I'll wrap it up today. May Allah bless you all. Thank you for joining. We're here to learn from you as well, parents, and we're here to partner with you. So we're here to, inshallah, continue to do good work together. Was there a last comment here, real fast?
Excuse me.
Yes.
My son is 10 years old, but he was in level 5 last year.
Okay.
About he will go to level with his classmate 9 to 10, or what he will be?
Anyone that we only serve kids up to 10 years old. If you're coming from Sister Khalid, are you from the Colleyville or South Lake community?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Colorful
Yeah.
community.
So anyone 11 and up will go to the Roots program. Sister Tahrima, Brother Roshan, can you confirm?
Yes, Sister Khalid needs her son in the I mean, he's going to be 10 years old. I would recommend he goes into the 8 to 10 program at with you, because the Roots program, the preteen is completely filled up. So so I mean, I don't know if it's okay for you to accept him in the 8 to 10 program.
Yeah, if he's 10 years old in fall, then we're good.
Yes, because she definitely Sheikh Safi is completely full on the preteen program at Roots right now.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Inshallah, you are joining us, and hope that's a good transition. Inshallah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. May Allah bless you. Subhanallah bihamdihi. Subhanakallah bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. وسلام على المرسلين. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, bless us, and accept from us. Inshallah. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.